Call of Duty is lying to you with its settings. You need to be trying these settings that I will be showing you in today's video to make sure that your aim is absolutely beaming and you're never missing a target. Now, first of all, we are going to go straight into the video and just kind of start off with the controller settings, because that is obviously where we want to be looking at the most. So I use tactical flipped. It allows you to use your well, in my case, my R3 button is my crouch, then circle is my knife button. It allows you to crouch a bit easier. I personally think it is a lot better to use it to use tactical flipped, and obviously I use L1 and R1 to shoot. So we're moving on to the next one. Stick layout I use completely default. Now, the sensitivity is really important. I'm going to display a chart right now on screen that shows you what the old sensitivity values are compared to the new ones. If you're someone that quit maybe during the early Verdansk days, Caldera, maybe even Warzone 2 days, and come back and saw the slider, you might be thinking, well, what am I looking at right now? So I use 1.70. I can't remember what it exactly is equivalent to, but it's like the mid to high range sensitivity, which I think is great and it works really well. Obviously, I use tactical flipped. With obviously swapping the L1 and L2 and R2, so make sure you flip it. I personally think it's a lot better. Very important that you have controller vibration turned off. I see a lot of people making the mistake of having it on. Yes, it's pretty cool and it gives you nice feedback, but there's a lot of people that don't realize is when the controller vibration is on, it can help, well, ruin your aim. When you're shooting your gun and the controls vibrating, naturally your analog sticks are moving without you knowing it. Turn it off. Turn off trigger effect, dead zones. Now, I get asked this question 1,000,001 times. Jaff, what is your dead zones? I want to copy your settings. And my answer goes to everybody. It is the exact same. If you're using dead zones and copying other people's dead zones, you're not going to get the most out of your controller. If you're someone that's got high stick drift on your controller, set the left stick minimum and right stick minimum. So if you've got loads of stick drift, to the highest possible. I have barely any stick drift on my controller, if any at all. So I whack it down to a 3, and sometimes I play with a 2. It obviously depends on how much stick drift you have. Like I said, I barely have any, if not any at all. So I stick mine on 3. Let's say you have mild stick drift. Put it up to like 5 to 10. And if you have loads more, 10 to 15. Now, stick drift isn't also a bad thing on a controller, because the way our rotational aim assist works, it allows you to have a really sticky aim assist and lock onto targets a little bit easier and kind of use the mechanics and kind of work them in your favor. So having the stick drift isn't a bad thing. Just keep that in mind. Now, the one thing that you definitely should be copying is your left trigger and your right trigger. Put it as the lowest possible. I have it on 4. I personally think that's the sweet spot, but try it out for yourself. Now, moving on to aiming, there's not much stuff that you need to change in here from the default, but sense multiplier, I have my ADS sense multiplier down to 0.70. I find that it gives me a little bit extra stability when I'm aiming down sight with my submachine gun assault rifle to kind of give myself a little bit of an extra ability to beam people. Aim assist settings, I also set it to dynamic. Very, very important that dynamic is on. Standard is really good for new players if you're new, but you know, within maybe a week, if that, maybe in a couple of days, I would definitely whacking yourself over to dynamic. It gives you like it allows you to move a bit faster as well. So yeah, put it on and then put it to aim response curve slope scale to a 1.0. Now, moving on to movement, there's some really important settings you need to put on here. So sprint assist, tactical sprint assist. Make sure you put the delay down to a 0 and have sideways and backwards on. Make sure it's on tactical sprint assist, not on, not off. Tactical sprint assist and set it down to a 0. Mantle assist off, crouch assist off. Corner slicing is so good. So many people, and I have no idea why, turn it off. When you're in a doorway, you can kind of edge with yourself through and kind of have a look in without like mantling or anything like that. It is super, super, super important. Definitely try it out. Slide behavior hybrid is so broken. Again, I'm seeing a lot of pro Warzone players, CDL players and a lot of other players are moving over to hybrid because it's the most broken. Used to be tap to slide back in the day, but now, or slide only. Now it's hybrid. It is so broken. It works so well on controller. Definitely give it a go. Airborne mantle on, sprint restore on, sideways maintain sprint on, parachute behavior off. Have it off, don't have it on, or always, or free fall, anything like that. It can hinder you quite a lot. Learn your spot to where you want to be pulling your chute, because it'll work better in the long run for you. Moving over to combat, again, this is all kind of really standard. I'm just going to go through the settings that I have that I've edited. So we have C4 detonation all at once. Go down to combat. I have prioritize interact, which back in the day used to be contextual tap. It's now prioritize interact. Make sure you have that on. It is super busted. You need to have it on, because if you're running around trying to loot weapons really quickly, and you're in maybe a superstore or hospital, whatever it may be, a hot drop, you need to make sure you're picking up the weapons and ammo and plays really quickly. Now, coming out of here, I also have weapon mount as ADS and melee. So if you want to mount your weapon on a wall, it's better off to do that way. Now, we're going to go to the audio settings, because that's also very important. Now, ignore obviously the actual volume and obviously the device and the speakers, because obviously that'll be different for everybody else. Have enhanced headphone mode on. If you are on PlayStation, they have a new built-in setting that allows you to put some sort of spatial audio thing on. Whack that on. I've heard that's really good. They released it in a recent update. I've heard it's really good. I've never personally tried it. Give it a go. If you don't like it, you can always turn it off, but I've heard it's really good if you're over on PlayStation. And then I have my audio mix on Treyarch mix, because it's really good. And then I have my hit marker preset down to classic. That's personal preference. If you might not like it, but I like it. Voice chat, again, this is kind of all down to you and your own preferences. I'll show you mine, but you don't need to really copy it. Interface is another really big one. Now, obviously, if you're on PC, you can put your telementaries onto Essential. I believe you can do it on PlayStation and Xbox, but I don't think it has all the same ones. Readability and gameplay HUD are really important. Color customization, I have mine set to a custom color palette. So whenever I go onto custom squad members, I've changed them all individually. Now, I personally believe the brighter the color, naturally your eyes go to it a little bit easier, so it's easier to detect. But obviously, the one thing that I have that's very different to a lot of people, and a lot of people obviously ask me, I have changed the enemy colors from red to like a purpley pink. I just think it looks a little bit easier to see. And obviously put the color filter to 2, put color filter target to both, and then put the world intensity up to max. Makes the colors pop a little bit more. A lot of people always come in, my colors don't look anywhere near as yours. Try that out and you'll definitely notice a massive difference. Gameplay HUD, set it to square, very important. And this is also majorly important. I see a lot of people have their mini-maps so far into the corner of the screen. You want your mini-map, your ammo, your squad teammates as close to the middle of the screen as possible. So bring your HUD bounds in as close as you possibly can, because it'll allow you, rather than constantly moving your head around, to check where your mini-map is, or your ammo is, or where your teammates are. It's all in one quick eye little movement, and it's super simple. So I have the radar turned off, rotation of minimap on. I have my compass on horizontal. Moving down, I have vehicle HUD prompts fade after 10 seconds. And then obviously to move down a little bit more, buy station closes when damaged is really good. This is a setting they really added recently. Super amazing. So if you're on the buy station, you're getting shot at, and you obviously want to get off it immediately, well, it's automatically done via this setting. So have that on. Crosshair, I have it on static. And if you open up the show more settings, I have it set to red, with the largest dot in the middle, and then the crosshair spread off. I find the crosshair spread really distracting, especially at close range. If you're hip firing somebody, naturally you're not going to look at your crosshair. You're going to be looking at the target right in front of you. And if you're having it on the crosshair spread on, naturally it's going to look very distracting. And in my opinion, you're not going to want it. But again, personal preference, try out. You might not like it. Now moving on to the graphics settings. Obviously I have full screen exclusive, because obviously because I stream, it's obviously to get the best FPS. Moving down in video, reflex, low latency, have it on and boost. Have the VSync turned off. Frame rate on unlimited. Quality, Obviously, set your render resolution if you can to 100% because you'll get the best graphics. Upscaling, I noticed that either people use NVIDIA DLSS or Fidelity Cast. I use Fidelity Cast because apparently it works better with my components. Have a quick Google around and see what works better with your components. Turn frame regeneration off. I hear a lot of people say that they have more frames when they're on. Yes, you do, but it's almost like fake frames. I don't really know how to explain it to you, but if you do a video and look at it, it's great if you're playing single player games. If you're playing multiplayer games, pretty much pointless. And in regards to the other settings, I have virtually everything on off or low or the lowest possible settings, especially shadows, have them off. Now, I have field of view set to 120 and ADS field of view, make sure that's unaffected, and weapon field of view is on wide. That is very, very important. And then obviously first person camera movement have on 50% and obviously turn the blur off. Those are really, really important settings. And like I said, those are kind of really, really important. Call of Duty don't really give you the best settings on startup, especially when you really install the game. These are the best settings. Try them out and let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think of the settings. But until next time, guys, take it easy. Peace. Bye-bye.